break it all down. The Vault Studio, the best show in town. Best show in town, best show in town. Lights on, mic check, game time, let's go. Jay George, Scotty running the show. Rock on the mix, keeping it tight. NFL talk every day, every night.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Vault Studio. Yes, that's right. It's me, Georgie, again on the intro. Scotty was supposed to do something funny this week, but he forgot. So L's in the chat for Scotty. I'm back
Just doing
by
prep.
popular demand. I'm back on the intro again. So we're back for another edition of the NFL podcast. To my right is, what is it, 7-time and
O-line
offensive lineman of the year for the Croydon Rangers, James Arthur. Welcome.
Okay, man. I said that in a private space, okay?
Hey, this is a safe space. It's just us and our 40 listeners, man. Don't worry about it. It's fine. To my left, I've got Scotty here. He actually had to walk through sideways that door today. That's how broad he is. Welcome, Scotty. Hi.
That is true. Did do shoulders today, actually. Thank you for
see,
noticing.
that's what I'm saying. Look at him,
Thank
mate.
you.
He's just a barrel of man. He just epitomizes girth.
Barrel's the right word.
Shout out to Scott.
Girths.
He's
girths.
going everywhere that matters.
On the desk, we've got Brocky, who on good authority is going to have to sit at the kids' table at his own wedding because he's that short. Shout out to Brocky. And also because he can't do 10 pull-ups.
Yeah.
We haven't tried yet. Fuck you.
All right. We might try after this show.
No,
He
what-
can. I'm not.
We'll film it. We'll put it. Hey, anything's content.
We've got a
Anything's
silent 10 by 10 by 10 challenge. So
That's
let's
cute.
see.
You think that Brock will ever be at his own wedding?
Hey. Whoa. Pump the kid up, man.
Hey, as
There's
someone who's
always
going to be
hope.
the celebrant of the wedding, obviously, that's
Mail
my
order
goal in
brides.
life.
Mail order brides from the Ukraine are going a dime a dozen now, man.
Yeah, they're trying to get out of there as soon as they can.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's actually now.
Do
It really,
You reckon sister wives, you can get across the line?
yeah, it's just a religion.
This podcast is taking a weird turn at the start.
Sister wives is a real thing.
I know.
For once, I'm going to be the voice of reason and get us back on track. We're here.
I was
It's
just
the
thinking
pre-draft extravaganza.
Yeah,
This is right in Scotty's wheelhouse, by the way.
he's been waiting
Oh,
for this.
fucking
He's
love
been chomping at the bit for the last 3 weeks.
He's been
to just
chomping
talk.
at the zin to talk about the
Oh,
draft.
Yeah, I have. I am.
He's zinned up.
I
He's
did.
got his pink monster. He's trained shoulders. He's ready to go.
Yeah, I am.
man.
Ready to go.
He's hit his protein mark for the day. We're
Yeah.
fucking on.
And
Let's go.
shout out to all the people that sent in questions today because
Absolutely.
we
How
got
many responses did we get? We got responses.
about 20.
Wow.
Not all were questions. We had a few comments. I also spoke to Will and Aaron, if everyone remembers the college football podcast we used
Absolutely.
to have. Would definitely still have it, but the boys just got too busy with life, so they
Shout
couldn't do
out.
it anymore. I'd have it back in a heartbeat. They sent in some notes on some guys, which are pretty good. So I'll read them out as we talk about some
Fantastic.
dudes,
I love that.
which is really good because they watch a ton
It's
of
very,
college
very
football.
collaborative effort. This I like
They
this.
are, they
It's
are,
very
but
good.
What
yeah,
do they
all the-
think of my draft breakdowns? On point?
Yeah.
Or
Nah, they said that we've been pretty. They didn't say specifically. But
Both.
we've been pretty good with our draft breakdowns of what we've said with teams. Obviously, like I think this is where everyone needs to understand. If you want like in depth player by player breakdown of what they're like, because we thought about how we're going to talk about the draft. We could do
Yeah.
a top 20 big board and talk about. You can get that anywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
Like we're gonna bring up some topics, talk about some moments, and focus more on the teams of the NFL teams, what we think they should do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the draft is it's really a crapshoot. You can have a guy in the 7th round like a Brock Purdy that ends up being a starter.
Yeah.
And then
Literally bails out of
Yeah.
franchise.
and,
Like,
then, and then you can have Trey Lance, who is traded in 2 years. Like
Yeah.
who's a number 3 pick that you've traded up
in the
for.
same year.
Yeah, in the same year.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty wild. The draft is wild. If you haven't experienced the draft, it's exciting. It's fun. Adding new players is always great. I love watching the draft. I think it's very entertaining. I love when a guy gets drafted and they show you all their highlights. They definitely don't show any bad plays these guys have.
No. Yeah.
And you got to remember that every guy drafted into the NFL, it's under 1% of the college players. So this is the top 1% of college football players
It's the cream of the
that,
crop,
that
there's no
make
doubt
the
about
NFL. So they're all outstanding football players
Yep.
in their own right.
Yep.
It just depends where they land. Will it work? Can they develop into the NFL nature? Because it becomes a lot faster, a lot bigger, and a lot harder. So,
Yep.
And also the professionalism aspect of it. When you're a college kid, you're the star of your college team because every kid that gets drafted is a star at his college in his own right.
Mm.
And he's the man of that team. To then come into the NFL and take on that approach of, okay, well, I'm a 6th-round pick. My best bet is to be a really good special teams player.
Yeah.
But I haven't played special teams for 4 years because I was the best player at my college.
There's
So you got to adopt that professionalism and go, okay, I'm just going to be the best special teams guy and then hope the rest picks up for me later.
definitely like a big fish, small pond
100%.
situation.
It's a big change for a lot of these kids.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's also, not to be too corny, but it's great to see these kids. Their goal has been to make the NFL.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're going to see 260 of them, whatever it is, the number, make the NFL and live their dream out. And it's the guys, I think, that the best players that come to the NFL are the guys that come in with that attitude. I think Tom Brady said it once that when you make the NFL, that's not it. It's not, I've
That's the
made it,
start.
now I'm here. It's
Yep.
like now you're starting again.
Yep.
Now your goal is you've made it great. Everything you've worked towards now is you've got there, but now the work's got to step up. You have to go up another
I
level.
kind of just as a quick side note, I kind
Yeah.
of think this NIL thing has kind of fucked that up a
Well,
little bit.
do you want to discuss that a little bit? Because Aaron, who's obviously ex-college football, Aaron Kempe, legend, he said that NIL has ruined college football.
Yep.
And a lot of people are liking, like a lot of fans have gone well away from college football because of the NIL.
And relating it back to the draft as well. So you get some really solid players that can develop into starters in the,
Yes.
say, 5th, 6th, 7th round. So now all those guys are going, well, why would I go into the 5th round and make $750K a year when I'm on 1.5 mil
Yep.
for this NIL down in Tennessee or wherever? And, you know, I'll be cut in the NFL in 2 years' time. I may as well make more money playing college and dominate.
Yep. And be
So-
the man still.
Yeah, exactly.
That's said. I think the
Sorry.
NIL, and that said, we're not a college podcast, but the NIL, if you can't see I think there are good parts of it, but if you can't see the damage that it's done to the actual holistic view of the sport, like these were kids playing for their school. I believe that a lot of them were looked after. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, like
looked
under the
after.
table, money in an envelope,
Absolutely.
of course.
Absolutely.
And also-
Any Power 5 team, Power 5 school, Power 4 now, but any of those schools, if you play, you're getting paid.
100%. And it might be in different ways, but there's boosters that were giving the money before. They've just legalized it now.
Yep.
You know, they live absolutely for free. They don't pay for a meal. They don't pay for a drink. They don't pay for housing. They don't pay for anything. So I think that the NIL, although in some ways it was required, we're now seeing the bad side of it. I hope it rolls back the other way. Like the young quarterback from Tennessee, who I can't even
remember his
start to
name.
say his name. He's a Hawaiian kid.
Nico Amalevia.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
yep.
And he was on $2 million to play for Tennessee. Had a good year last year
Yeah, he was
without
very
being
good.
amazing, and he wanted $4 million instead of $2 million. And his dad came in and said, "No, you give him $4 million, or he doesn't play for you guys." They said, "We're not giving you any more."
Yep.
And then he didn't turn up to the first meeting, and they cut him.
Yep.
They just released him
Do
from
you know
the
the
team.
funny thing about that is, so Tennessee's a no state tax.
Yep. So now he's gone to
He's
UCLA.
gone to, he's
gonna
gone to
get less money.
UCLA, which is California, obviously, and he's actually losing money. Yeah,
Yep.
I think he's on about 700,000. I
Yeah,
mean, only.
I saw the breakdown of it. So
No.
it's about 700,000.
900,000
900
is what they're going to give him. Yes,
Yeah. So if he'd stayed on $2 million at Tennessee, he would have got like 1.5.
works out to be about 400,000. He'll
Yeah.
take home in the end.
And that's just dumb because now he's gone to a worse school. Like Tennessee are a good school. He's at a
Yeah.
worse school with
Yeah.
worse prospects. It's only going to hurt his draft value. And a lot of people were coming out saying that he's missed the whole point of this. The point is he's going to make all his money when he goes to the NFL next year because he'll have another really good year at Tennessee. He's probably a first round, late first, second round pick sort of guy.
Yeah.
If he has another good season like last year. And he's kind of tanked his own draft stock now because now he's a problem. Now NFL teams like, well, this guy only cares about money. He bailed on his college team for money. He hasn't played at an elite level, and he's gone to a worse school and had a worse season. That's all.
Yep.
Guessing that it's
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
Yep. Yep.
So he won't win as much there. He won't do as much there. And the fact that Tennessee were willing to just go, okay, cool. You're not that important. We don't care.
That says two things for me. For the player, that's a bit of a red flag.
Yep.
That you put yourself above the team, and for the team, in the opposite, it's like, hey, we've got our guys. We're really happy with our guys here. You're part of the team, or you're not. You're a distraction. See you later.
Yeah, we're happy with the
We're
next guy.
going forward. It doesn't matter.
And teams like Tennessee, they'll have five-star and 4-star quarterbacks coming out their ass. Like those big schools,
Yeah.
they get a 5-star, 4-star every year. So they just
Yep.
keep bringing them in and saying, hey, it's your turn. Now it's just a guy, hey, you're getting your turn a year earlier.
Yep.
Now it's your chance to win, to
Yep.
go and win football games and get drafted.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yep.
it is. It's a weird thing. It's bizarre. I think it's good the college players are getting paid. I get the whole thing about the NCAA with
So they
setting a
should.
ton of money.
honestly, so they should.
I just think they could have made the rules a little bit better. Like maybe made it, you don't get cash or there's a salary. I don't know. They got to do something to
They
to
should
stop it.
cap it.
Yeah, because like Carson Beck, who was a failure at Georgia last year, and then he's gone and got what $4.5 million
At
another,
Miami.
at Miami at another
Yeah.
school. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't make sense to me when you're almost getting rewarded for failure.
But you look at the top, 1% of the college players that are bringing in billions of dollars,
Yeah.
and then technically not getting a cent. So, like, I get that point of it. Like you're saying,
Maybe it goes
they
in a
need-
trust for them and they can get it in 4 or 5 years' time. Like something to make it, I don't know, something to make it more like future based, not
and
you're
then
just going to get it all now.
some
I
old
don't mind the
white
idea of
guy.
a trust, and then you get it when you're drafted. I don't
Something
mind
like
as
that.
an idea.
Or if you don't get drafted, then you get it. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like something like that. So there's more of a goal.
I just want to jump in here and say the big thing that all the coaches when NIL was coming in was they didn't want the players not to get paid. They just wanted the NCAA to actually have structure of what was happening.
Yeah.
So it couldn't be the wild, wild west. Now the NCAA are going to have to backtrack and make rules for everything that it's already got out of hand.
Yeah,
The cat's already out of the bag. Everyone's
agree.
already getting paid. It's already too far gone for them to actually come in and change what they need to do. So it's NCAA. They brought this in with no real structure, and it's fucked over the little teams, and it's going to fuck over the big teams as well.
Spot on, Brocky. Well said.
And like little teams are becoming farm clubs because
Yeah.
they play for a
Yep.
year and then they go, oh, I'm going to enter the transfer portal. I can go anywhere I want.
Absolutely.
And they don't miss a year. They don't miss anything. It's just basically free. You're basically an unrestricted free agent year to year. You're on 1 year contracts.
Yep.
Which I think the other thing is if you're on a scholarship for 4 years, that's it. You can't leave
Yeah,
unless
you
the
should be
team
able to-
says to you, "Yep, you're cool. You can go."
Yeah, they
The
release
team
you
holds
kind of
same in the NFL. If you sign a 4-year deal and then 2 years in, you know you
want to leave.
you want to leave.
Bad
but
luck. Yeah,
They own your rights. They can go, yeah, cool. We agree. It's not working here. You can go. You can get a trade. We can cut you whatever you want. But if they think, no, we signed you. We've given you the money. You got to play. Especially with signing bonuses and all that sort of stuff. They pay so many guys up front that it's like, well, no, we want to get something back for you.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's the whole point of signing long-term deals.
I think there needs to be a loyalty to the school, and some guys definitely have that. Some guys are like Michigan State guys, and their grandfather went to Michigan
Sure,
State. Their
sure.
dad
Yes.
went, and they just put everything aside and go to Michigan State. But I think a lot of it's just a mercenary base sort of.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, let's get to the draft. We're going to start with I think it's a pretty easy topic for everyone for our first one. Is Cam Ward a lock for number 1?
Yeah, absolutely.
He has to be, doesn't he?
Well, I don't see the Titans doing anything else.
Well,
he's
they
better
cancelled-
he's better than Will Levis, so like they already they're in a
Theoretically,
better position. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They cancelled their private workout and their private dinner with Shador, so
Yep.
that's enough.
Yeah, I think he's a lock for number
And
1.
then
Do
also
you think
on
it's
his
the right
stream-
move? I know you said that it was they should be looking to rebuild, but I think when you got the number 1 pick and if there's a quarterback that you like, you need to take that chance.
I still think in their situation, you just had the absolute best player.
But in theory, though, if they land him and he's really good, it changes everything for your franchise almost
Yes,
immediately.
it does.
If he sucks, you're back to the drawing board.
But then people are saying that Cam Ward he would have been picked behind Bo Nix last year.
yeah, it's just
So then
like,
there's 5 young quarterbacks that are projected to be better than the one you're picking for the first overall.
yeah, it's just that's unlucky. That's like just the luck of the draw sometimes. You
Yep.
can only draft the guy you want. From all reports, Cam Ward's very liked. He's got all
Yep.
the talent. Like
He's
quarterbacks
definitely a
got
starting
all-
caliber guy. He's
Yeah.
definitely a starting caliber guy.
that's
There's-
that's the problem though. Like if you're going to draft a guy number 1, as I've said before, he's got to be like you almost a can't miss
Yeah.
franchise QB. Is Cam Ward that? I'm not sure.
he's not like other guys. No, like you said, if he was rated behind Bo Nix last year, the question marks around Bo Nix were pretty high, and he still went probably earlier than what a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Yeah.
But
If I'm drafting number 1, I want Andrew Luck. That's what I want.
yes,
Guaranteed.
agreed. But the thing is that they don't come around as often as you think. The Andrew Luck.
I don't
No,
disagree.
well, Trevor
So
Lawrence
then-
was meant to be that guy as well.
Yeah, and he was drafted accordingly by that, and he's played okay.
He's played
been-
okay. He's won a playoff game. Like he's fallen off a little bit. But we'll
Yeah.
see what happens this year with a new coach. But
I guarantee you, if he struggles this year and he hits the open market, there will be 20 teams
teams.
lining up to get him.
if
Teams
I'm
without starting quarterbacks. Be
if I,
lining up
like
for
I
him.
get that they're probably going to draft him because again, that's
You have
kind of
to.
what you do. You
Yeah.
have to. They need a
if
quarterback.
you get the number 1 pick, you either let people trade up and take him, or you take him.
That's what I would do.
That's
Me
just the
personally,
rule.
if I was Tennessee, I'd trade out of it and
I
try and
don't.
get a
I
bunch
think
of
they
picks.
tried to. I don't think there's a
I
market.
don't, I,
for it.
don't, I
Really?
don't think anyone's willing to give up 3 first-round picks to get him
Yeah.
because again, he's not
He's
an
not
Andrew
good enough.
Luck.
He's not
I
Andrew Luck.
personally, to answer your question, I would get the best available player and then go in the sweeps for next year.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
and that's not the worst idea in the world.
And I'll just run it back with Levis, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a
Oh.
bad shout. I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think they will
No, they
no,
won't.
no,
they
they
won't.
won't. They won't.
Yeah.
They won't.
But that's what I would do.
because all the
and I'm not an
pressures on
NFL
that
GM.
all the pressures on that staff now. They know they need to hit a quarterback. That's the
Yeah,
bottom line.
and Callahan's an offensive guy. He would have seen enough to know he can work with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're not devout of talent at offense either. Like they're
No.
not amazing. They've got a solid, like they've got good young offensive linemen, high
Yep.
picks. Pollard's a solid running back. They've got some okay guys.
Burks has some sort of promise.
Yeah,
like-
Ridley's good. Like he's a bit of a pain in the ass,
Bit of
but
a
he's
corpse,
he's
but
he's
yeah.
a good player. He's got
And it's
another
not
year or
not
so
a
in him.
great division, so like he's got a chance to win a few games at Ward. Like if he's decent,
If he's Jaden Daniels, then none of this matters.
Mm.
And that's what they're banking on. If he's not, I don't think anyone's going to give him shit for taking him and if he doesn't
No,
work out.
No,
It's
that's
just
right.
not that big a deal.
You cop more shit for passing on him, and then he becomes a Pro Bowl caliber
Yeah.
player.
Yeah, 100%
So
you do.
they have to take him.
All right, our first question of the week comes from our boy Reese, the
Shout out, Reese.
7th best linebacker in Croydon Rangers history. That's
Hey,
probably a stretch.
that's pretty good.
Has there been 8 linebackers?
No, I think there's 9. I think
Oh.
he's above 2. I won't say their
Sam.
names. There he is. He asked us, assuming the Giants don't select Shedeur Sanders at 3, do you see them doing a Baltimore and trading back into the first round and taking him before New Orleans/Pittsburgh, considering they are still working him out as of today? Also, fuck the Cowboys. You know what, Reese? That's fair. I say fuck the Giants a lot. It's become a big trending thing in the world.
Yeah,
By the
I-
world,
I
I
say
mean my
probably,
house.
yeah.
I've taught the kids to say it. It's a real thing now. But I
think. Can I take this?
yeah, go.
I think you definitely rule out taking him with the 3rd overall. And if you have to give up draft capital to get back into the first to get him, also a huge mistake.
I think so too. I think if if he's there at the end of the first, maybe you think about it. Like you try because they'll have the second pick in the second round or 3rd pick in the second round. Maybe you trade up to like pick 28 and do what they did, like what the Ravens did with Lamar.
But Lamar was just such a better prospect.
Yeah, this guy's not Lamar. He's not Lamar. I think, like he's comped as about a late second round pick in terms of talent from every evaluator I've seen. He's late second to early
He's a
third.
3rd round pick.
Yeah.
But he's a quarterback and he's the second best quarterback in this draft by rankings. So I think teams will reach for him. My theory is, and I'm saying steadfast on this, and I'll be shocked if they don't. I don't think he'll be there at 3 because I think the Browns will take him at 2.
Yeah.
I think they're that. Is that the most Browns thing in the world to do? When you've got a guy like Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter on the board, and you roll with Shedeur Sanders. Like a
If
third
I
round
was
talent.
a Browns fan and they took Shedeur at 2, just
I'd spew up Terry Wilson.
just start going for Cincinnati. Just start going for the Bengals.
They're
Go
better
for the-
off. They're better
Go
off
for the
rolling.
mortal enemy.
They're better off rolling with Deshaun Watson for another year. Like Deshaun Watson's probably going to be a better player than Shedeur. And I know he's hurt and stuff like that, and there's contract stuff and all that sort of stuff, and the fact that he can't keep his dick in his pants. But if Justin Tugger can do it, let Dion live. You know what I mean?
Dion?
Yeah. No, what's his name? Shedeur.
Also, the dick stuff was like 3 years ago. I think we need to move on from that.
I'll move on, but I'll never forget.
You don't have to forget.
No,
I'm not
some boy
saying
didn't
yeah.
bring it up. It's like
I'm
my
saying
boy Tyreek Hill. Just
Just,
a piece of
just
shit.
move on.
I stand by. I don't think Shedeur's going to be a starting caliber NFL player.
Yep.
I don't think so. And I think if you get him in the first round, terrible. And if you have to trade up to get into the second half of the first round, almost worse.
And we've got some inside intel from
Ooh.
college expert Aaron Kempe. I
Shout
have to say Aaron Kempe because we've got Kempe
Kempe,
coming up later. His exact notes on Shedeur was Shedeur sucks. All the attitude and swag, will be a low range starter, not a first round pick. I hate that he's having his number retired at Colorado.
Fair.
Now, I played devil's advocate a little bit last week with the number retiring because I didn't really care that much. When I saw the actual, the presentation
ceremony,
of him,
yeah.
the ceremony, it's a better word, of him retiring his number, he's wearing a hoodie, unzipped, with all his bling on, standing on the field when the flag goes
He
down,
just looks like a fucking
just
idiot. doesn't
acting
he?
like a tool.
Oh,
Like that is such, and I know I can tell he doesn't appreciate it enough, because if that was Peyton Manning getting his number retired by Tennessee, right, he'd have a suit on, he'd stand up, he'd make a speech, he'd thank people,
Mm.
he'd do all the right, he'd be humble,
respectful.
he'd appreciate it. He doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
He genuinely doesn't. And I don't know if that's, like I said, this is just from viewing him. He looked like he couldn't have given less of a shit.
I don't think that's a Shedeur thing. I think that's a generational thing. I think
Well, that
generation of
annoys me
kids,
too. Like,
yeah, just don't give a shit.
if your number's being retired by an organization, whether that be a college or an NFL organization,
That is a massive
that's a
honor.
massive honor,
Yep.
and you should respect the shit out
Like,
of that.
because just play that out. That means that nobody that ever goes to that school can wear that number because they don't feel as though they can do it as much justice as what you've done.
That
That
number,
is a massive honor.
it dies with you.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's
Like,
the equivalent. And I've had this conversation in the past with the Croydon Ranger stuff when I was president, where people have sadly passed away, and it's been brought up. Well, maybe we should retire the number. I'm like, well, we're getting 40 years old, right? Unfortunately, as a club, we're going to start having people pass away.
Yep.
I'm not trying to be the asshole here, but every time someone passes away, we can't just retire a number because in 10 years' time, there won't be any numbers left. Like, we can appreciate them in other ways, but we can't just, okay, guys passed away. It's terribly sad. It was sudden. It wasn't expected. But we can't just be like, all right, numbers retired now.
Yep.
Because then you will literally have no numbers left. You'll all be playing in like number 500 in 10, 20 years' time. Because it's, and if you set that precedent
1/8.
all the time, it's just terrible.
So-
I just can't do it.
I don't think the number should have been retired. But
No.
let's just like play that forward.
What number is he?
They
Two.
Two. I didn't even know that. Didn't even know. That's how little he's on my radar.
The school decided that's what they wanted to do. Fair play to them.
2 or 12.
Whatever. They can do whatever they
Two,
want.
yeah.
But
Hunter
show a
12.
bit,
Yeah,
show a
that's
bit
right.
more respect, man.
At least Hunter was really good.
Yeah.
Like, and that's, we'll go to our next topic now. Hunter at wide receiver, DB, or both.
No, not both,
Can I give you my theory on this?
please.
If you're taking him in the top 3, which I think he's going to go, maybe top 4 at worst, he isn't an elite enough receiver to be taken in the top 5. He isn't an elite enough DB to be taken in the top 5. His brilliance is the fact that he's very, very good at both. So if you're drafting him with the idea of playing him at one side of the ball, you're actually doing yourself a disservice towards him. You should be drafting him going, you're playing both ways because that's that's what you bring. That's why you're going top 5
Sure.
because what you're able to do on both sides of the football. You try it for a year. If it doesn't work out and it can't work out, which it'd be fair in the NFL. No one's ever done it to a high level on both sides of the ball. Had guys pinch hit and stuff like that. Deion Sanders to be one of them. Terrence Newman used to do it a bit for the Cowboys. He'd play like as a deep threat as a wide receiver just because he was so fast. But no one's ever been a starter on both sides of the ball. I think
can
you
I push
draft
back?
him and you make him the first guy to do it.
Can I push back on this?
Mhm.
We spoke about the strength of schedule that Colorado had last year.
Yeah.
He's now going to be playing against the best of the best.
Yes.
He's going to get hit 10 times harder,
Yeah.
and he's going to have to absorb all that contact as a DB and all of that. I think you're putting him in harm's way if it's a 50-50 split. I think that you would
No,
put
it can't
him
be
in.
50-50. No way.
I think you'd have to put him in at a corner because his ball skills are great. And
Yep.
that is his best attribute would be he's a fantastic safety that can corner that can play the pass. He's a bit smaller. You can work on the tackling. But if he's getting hit 5, 6, 7 times a game, he won't last playing both ways.
No, and that's fair. And
I
that's why
agree.
I'm saying
I agree.
it's
He won't.
extremely hard to do this.
Yep.
But then if I'm a GM, then I'm not drafting him then because I don't think he's good enough at either position to be an elite
But-
player. So why take him top 5?
I think the reason why you do draft him is because he hasn't had enough time to really hone in the skills on either position.
So you're
to be
banking is the
dominant.
raw skills are there. The athleticism's obviously there. Like he's a
Yep.
freak athlete. He's
Yep.
tall. He's long. He
Loves
kicks-
football. If you
And-
play
and-
both ways, you love football.
Yes, and
So-
I'll read a snippet from our boy Aaron Kempe. He said Travis Hunter, 5-star out of high school, originally committed to FSU,
Yep.
then flipped on signing day to Jackson State to be with the coach that shall not be named. I thought he would fizzle out. Actually, a really good dude, hard worker. He is amazing because he can go both ways, but I don't think he's elite at either. And by that, I mean not a top 5 in the league. So my theory is at top 5, I want an elite player at one of those positions.
All right, but what's he got more chance of being a lead at, a corner or a wide receiver?
Corner.
I think corner.
corner, yeah. And then again, you can pinch hit him as a receiver.
Yes,
that's what I'm
and
saying.
Easy to pinch hit.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
I just think for the value, you're right, and the value can be in his versatility. That if as I think I said this a couple of weeks ago, he's playing corner, whatever. You have a couple of injuries, and he knows the offense, and you go, hey, you're actually going to play wide receiver for the next 3 weeks. So we're really dinged up, and we've got plenty of corners, so
Yep.
we're going to move you over. Maybe that's where the versatility lies, where they use him, and then maybe they just play him at DB on key moments, 4th down drives to win games, that
Yes,
sort of stuff.
yeah.
So you're right, he brings a lot of versatility.
I can sort of see him
Sorry,
going out
Brocky, I didn't
there.
hear you drop, mate. Thank you.
Hear that, Tom?
Yes, did.
Dick? I can sort of see him going in there on, long 3rd downs, playing DB, staying on there for punt, coming off, going back on for passing downs on offense. If he's going to play both ways, he's going to do that. He won't be able to do a full game going both ways
No
because
way.
he's an athlete more than anything. He's not a DB. He's not a wide receiver. He's an athlete. So get him out there on punt return, get him on kick return, get him actually doing that athletic stuff. And where he fits in from there, that's where he fits in.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
right.
think-
Just work it out.
I'm not
Keys,
drafting a guy.
key moments.
I'm not drafting a guy top 3 to get him out there on punts. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm not drafting him to be on key moments. I want my guy to be a stud.
No, I'm saying you draft him as a DB,
Yeah, I
and
think
then
so.
you play him as a return to get the ball in his hands. I agree, and then you pinch hit him on offense. That's got to be the move.
Yeah.
Where do you think he falls? Does he? Oh, let's go to the next topic. Do you think Hunter or Carter? I think these are the two best players in the draft by a fair while. Obviously, Cam Ward's going to go number 1. We take that because it's a quarterback. We get it. But Hunter or Carter, if you're a team that's in that
Cleveland.
top 3, so let's say Cleveland are taking one of them. Who are you taking? Who do you like better?
I'm drafting a pass rusher every day of the week.
I think so too. I think if there's a deep, like DBs just fail so often because it is such a hard position to play. It is
Yep.
so challenging,
Extremely
especially in the NFL. The rule changes from college to the NFL. It's a lot more complicated, a lot harder. You can't be as physical. I think if you've got a defensive lineman that's rated the way Abdul Carter is, you've got to take him.
Yep.
And I think the Browns are crazy. I think they will take Shador, and I will be shocked if they don't, but I'll be happy. But if they take Abdul Carter and then have him and Myles Garrett, that is the start of a very nice defensive build.
You have to. Yeah. Well, they got Denzel Ward as well. So if you have
That's the other theory. You could
two really
you
good
draft another
corners.
DB, but I just don't think. So given what's said about Hunter, is he an elite DB? We don't
Yeah.
know yet. He's probably going to be a project there. He'll start and he'll be a starter straight away. But Abdul Carter is a day one
yes.
pin, like text to him in at an end position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's your starter. Like I think I think Abdul Carter's the best player in the draft. And I think it's a bit of a chasm
I
between
think
him
you're
and other guys. Who do you like?
Tyler Warren,
Tyler. Who's?
the tight end. Your
Oh,
boy.
but we'll talk about him soon. Actually, I've got him
Yeah.
coming up.
I
I
think-
do like him as well.
I think he's the best player in the draft.
Yeah, but I think
If
in
you're
terms
picking
of,
between a corner and an edge rusher, you're taking a rush every day of the week.
I think so too. They're just so sought after, and they're
Well,
hard to
put it
get.
this way: if you're an edge rusher and you don't live up to your draft potential, by your 3rd year, you're on another team for sure.
Yes,
If you're a corner, you're out of the league.
yeah, true. That's true.
So you got to go.
Solomon Thomas is on the Dallas Cowboys this year. He was the 3rd overall pick as an interior pass rusher / edge, like versatile guy. Has not worked out at all, and he just keeps getting
probably
a
on
1
his
year deal.
5th team. Yep.
Just keeps getting 1 year deals to go on. Just hey, you've still got talent. You're still a guy they have to worry about because you're athletic, you're strong.
Yep.
Like that, you're right. They last forever. Whereas corners, if they bust real.
What's
real
happened
quick.
to Washington's guy? Burnt
Ch-
on toast.
Chase? What's his name?
I can't remember.
He's on it. We saw him last week. He's
The
on a team.
Vikings.
Jalen Ramsey?
No,
No.
Jalen Ramsey. Although he's a bit
Put some
of buzz.
respect on Jalen Ramsey's name.
He's,
That poor
he's a
guy.
very good football player.
What's his name? Emmanuel Forbes.
yeah.
Emmanuel Forbes the 3rd, I think it is.
Yeah.
He's right. He was cut before the end of his 2nd season.
Yep.
On a team that made an NFC Championship game.
And we desperately needed corners.
Yeah,
So-
that was their one of their biggest weaknesses.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That's a good point from you. Sorry, Brock, do you want us to go to the next question?
Yeah, let's get on to the junior question, mate.
All right,
Hang on,
Junior.
pause.
So we've got our boy Aaron Smith Jr., as we all know him.
Shout
one
out.
of long-time listeners, legend of a bloke. He's got a question about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Of course he does.
The only thing I really care about is if the Steelers should grab a quarterback or wait for Rodgers to pull his finger out or both. I think the Steelers would be crazy to not grab a quarterback. Now, where do they pick the Steelers? I think they're like 20.
21, I think.
If Shador's there at 21, is it
No.
outrageous?
no.
Going to a solid team, solid
No.
offensive line. Obviously, their offensive coordinator's not phenomenal.
Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith, he's had success in the past, but only with elite quarterback play. Yes.
They're at 21 and Takeathon have them taking Jackson Dart.
That's who I'll take for sure.
So would
Yep.
you take? So let's just say,
That's a solid pick.
Shador's on the board.
Yep.
You're taking Dart over him.
Yep.
You think Dart's a better player?
I think that okay, so we spoke about this briefly before we started.
Yep.
Quarterbacks need 4 things to be successful. Cannon,
Yep. Arm
Not-
strength.
not in any particular order. So arm strength, pocket awareness, mobility, and throwing anticipation.
Yep.
And I think Jackson Dart has 2.5, 3 of them. I think Shador's probably got 1.5, 2.
Yeah. Okay.
And Jackson Dart's issue is he's a little bit inaccurate, but we've seen guys turn that around. And I'm not using Josh Allen. That's an outlier.
Yeah,
But
true.
guys that typically come up from college to NFL do become a little bit more accurate.
Yes, yeah. I think
With-
Pittsburgh would be a good landing spot for a quarterback too. I don't think it's not a bad offense at all.
No, you got
Um,
DK running deep. You've got
I forgot they had DK as well, and they got Pickens as well.
Pickens.
Who I think
They got the Bash Bros.
Pickett's the quarterback. Pickens is
Yeah,
the
Pickens.
Pickens, yeah.
He's a
And-
real knucklehead, but shit, he plays hard. In fairness,
And
like he's not a
and-
bad player.
Dart has a cannon, and he can run over guys.
Yeah,
So that's a good starting block. Pocket presence is you can watch film for both ways if it's there or not.
Yeah.
But if you've got mobility and you got slightly below pocket presence, you can sort of make up for a little bit.
Sure.
If you've got a cannon, it overrides everything.
Man,
you can't teach a cannon.
He could be like this year's Bo Nix, like like a bit rough, a bit raw, but he's got the
Plays
got the,
hard.
Yeah, he plays hard. He's got the
Dart definitely plays hard. He's
Yeah.
got that dog.
And I would also think like Pittsburgh's biggest issue last year at the quarterback position, they didn't like Fields played well start of the season. He played fine. He was very tethered.
Yep.
Wilson, unexciting, uneventful, just didn't do
Protecting
anything.
his
Yeah,
stats.
just didn't do
Yep.
anything to make me be like. That's why I kind of, as much as I bagged Bo Nix, it's why I kind of started to like him because I just, you know what, this kid's just throwing it. Like,
Yeah.
let's give him some credit. Let's give some respect where it's due.
Yep.
I think a quarterback, and I've said this a million times before, you have to be comfortable with failing. You have to be comfortable with losing.
Russ is the king of the fucking dick and dunk now.
He is. Well,
which
he is
fine.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now.
Like that, and that's why Steelers moved on from him because he
Yep.
just the last couple of years there, he just moved off that. I'm going to sling it downfield more because he was just
His last year for Seattle was the start of the end.
it was just protecting his stats, and that's what
Yep.
I think they lacked excitement last year. And to go back to Shador in Pittsburgh, if you're drafting Shador, you're drafting that protective guy. He's
Shador's high end is Russell Wilson last year.
yes, I think so. Oh, potentially, that's sad to think, isn't it? 'Cause it wasn't that
That's
good.
how low. That's how low I am.
And he's
I am.
he's very accurate. He's not going to generate a ton of big plays.
Nope.
He's not going to be able to throw the ball downfield to DK Metcalf because you'll underthrow him every time, which will frustrate everybody. I just think if you're going to draft a quarterback,
Please
a guy
get
like
Dart.
Dart,
At least he's going to fucking uncork it. Like,
yeah,
that's
the
what I'm
guy
saying,
from
right?
Syracuse, Sau, he's 26. He's older prospects, a little bit worrying, but we just saw what Bo Nix has done with previous experience. That
Yep.
would be a flyer I would take in the second or third round if you're not looking to draft a quarterback in the first.
I also think on team talent for Pittsburgh, it's pretty easy to sell yourself on that. They're pretty well equipped at a lot of positions. They're a solid team. They're a good defense. TJ Watt's obviously an elite talent still. They've got game breakers. They're kind of if you think they're in a window, which I tend to think they're not in a window anymore, but they've played in the playoffs the last couple of years. Tomlin's probably at the end of his tether. They've got guys, they've
with an elite QB,
McCord.
they're in the
Sorry,
window.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If they take Jackson Dart and he's just a game changing guy that slings the ball downfield and can get that offense being exciting and productive, it could be that little tick that just gives them a chance. Similar to Denver last year, just gives them that chance because sometimes when you're a really good defense, you need your offense to just be competent and then it makes you even better.
Yeah.
Which again we saw in Denver last year. I just think I hope they don't go Shador. I hope they don't.
Ugh,
I
yuck.
truly believe Aaron Rodgers is going to play for them next year. I
I think so as well.
I think he'll play for them or the Vikings because that conversation's still going between.
So
the
even
Vikings.
if Rogers signs, I wouldn't mind just drafting Dart anyway.
So take a Jackson Dart and
Yeah.
then go Rodgers here for 1 year. Learn whatever you can. Don't go and smoke or drink ayahuasca with him in that tent. Just learn what you can from him, and next year the reins are yours.
I think Dart might be like a bandana Mohawk Pit Vipers sort of operator. I don't reckon he's
real
going to ayahuasca.
Jim McMahon vibes.
Yeah. I think he might be getting on
No,
a bit of the
no,
fucking.
no darkness retreat for him.
No.
No, he's got enough
He'll be up.
darkness in his own
He'll
mind.
be up all dark. Don't worry about that. I reckon he's a fucking operator. I thought this is my opinion. I should say. Don't know.
Shout out.
Don't know that, but
I hope he's a baller.
Gremlin knows Gremlin.
Game respects
I see.
game.
It takes a wolf to catch a wolf.
Yeah, I see. I see the beast in his eyes when I see him play.
The other guy I was thinking about for Pittsburgh, and it brings into our next topic as well, is I wouldn't hate him if they signed Rodgers and then drafted a guy like Jalen
Sure,
Milroe.
yeah.
Now,
Not in the first.
I think if the first is a reach, but there is a ton of hype growing around Jalen Milroe. He ticks all the boxes for athleticism, all tangible boxes, as you said before.
Yep.
He ticks athleticism, arm strength.
That's where it stops.
Yeah, and then it drops off a
Pocket
bit from
presence
there.
is non-existent, and
Yeah.
accuracy is non-existent. Do you know why he's in the green room?
Yeah, it makes no sense to me.
Because
first explain what the green room is and why he's
Okay,
there.
so the green room is what the NFL is projecting to be the top 20 first round picks.
Yes, there's 16 guys who go to the green room for
Yep.
ESPN. They're there on the draft day. They get drafted. They go up on the stage. They hold their jersey, put their hat on, take
Yep.
a photo. There's only 16 going this year. They invite around 40, and then-
It's usually, yeah.
and then some they start with 20, and then some obviously like some guys just want to stay at home and watch
Yep.
it with their family and that sort of stuff, which is fine too.
Like my boy Joe Alt, just want to just
He just want to sit home with his
Well,
family.
his dad didn't let him leave the farm, to be fair.
Hey, hey, there's cows that need milking, man.
Hey,
Bales of hay had to move, man.
drafted at 4, hay in the ute at 5, motherfucker. You're not in the NFL yet, kid.
So the thing with Milrow is that his parents were a strong military presence.
Yep.
So he's very well spoken, very polite, very like all those things, which are super important for the fate of your franchise.
Yep.
And what teams do value. He's got that in like
Very polished.
Yes.
Good leader from all reports.
Yeah,
I was reading
absolutely.
today.
Like,
great,
yeah,
great leadership.
These are
skills.
they're very important qualities for a
and
quarterback
they
too.
are. And so when he's so well spoken to teams with all the interviews and they see the cannon and they're like, oh, hello,
Yeah.
what have we got here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can work with pocket presence. We can work with accuracy. We can work with reading defenses and stuff like that. But
You
that-
can't teach
that's-
athleticism and arm power.
that's
Can't
why
teach it.
he's there. I don't believe we're falling into the same trap, and we don't want to have an argument about Richardson again, but we're falling into that trap of
Yeah.
the cannon, the athletic ability, all that sort of stuff. He wants to be an NFL player.
Yeah.
Where Richardson, we don't know.
Yeah, but he's if you hear him talk, he's much smarter than Richardson.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of my point.
I also think if I'm Jalen Milrow, even if I think I'm going in the third round and my agent's telling me, hey, you're not going to go in the first round, and they give me the opportunity, I'm still going to go.
100%. What
It'll be a great experience. Like as long as you go there not thinking, oh my God, because I'm coming here, I'm
Nah,
definitely
but
going in the
cameras
first round.
on you all the time.
Yeah, but what does it matter? You just feel it's not like you're predicted to go number 1 overall like Aaron Rodgers that year and you're forward at the end of the first and the cameras are on you non-stop.
Or like
being
Will Levis. was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
real
it's like,
top
why
10
is he
pick,
falling? Why is he falling?
Yeah.
You know,
The Lamar Jackson sitting
Yeah,
there thinking it'll be
yeah.
a top 10 pick and coming in 32.
100%.
Yeah.
He could just be sitting there going, you know what? I actually, as long as his mind says, I know I'm not going to drive. I'm just here for the experience because he's accepted. And he's
I'm just
gone.
here for the free food. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm here to have a bit of fun experience because you only get one opportunity to be drafted. So maybe his mind says, you know, I want to be there in the green room around all the guys with my family there with me, my agent there with me. And if you know what, if someone takes me, awesome. If they don't, I'm happy to.
Who
go
knows? You
back
could
home the
speak to
next day.
someone and someone go, "Oh shit, we'll
I
take him
definitely-
in the second round or something."
Yeah.
You never know.
I definitely see that, but for me personally, I just wouldn't want to be there like that.
Yeah, no,
because
Shador
he's not a
Sanders
sure
isn't going to be
player.
there as well.
Yeah, sure.
Well, that makes sense because he shouldn't be drafted in the first.
Exactly. He's staying home with his family and
round. Look at his
celebrating.
Nepo baby. Fucking don't
Scotty
start me.
hates Shador Sanders.
Dude, he's just
Well, I
not
kind
good.
of
He's just
get
not
it because
good.
he brings a lot of hate onto himself.
Oh
man.
yeah, I said he's a twat at the moment.
You know what? Cam Newton's a little bit, different, and he talks. He's funny. He dresses. He is eccentric. He's fucking earned it.
And he's also quite humble, Cam Newton.
Yes,
When he talks about himself,
he never.
he's not an asshole. Like
No.
he'll never put down people and say.
Yep.
I've never heard Cam Newton once go, "I'm so much better than that guy.
Yeah.
He's shit because he's not as good as me."
He would say, "Oh yeah, my O line, they're the superstars. Oh, my
100%.
running back, my receiver. We're two different fucking cloths."
And if we go back to Cam Newton, like we've looked at the
I
teams
love
he
Cam
played
Newton.
with, he played with such poor talent around him.
Yeah.
In terms of guys that went to Super Bowl, you look at that Super Bowl year. His best
Mm.
receiver was Ted Ginn Jr.
Yeah.
Like it's wild.
Yeah.
How
I-
much they did
I think
surround
I
him with
think
talent.
I've rubbed off on you. I've been a huge Cam guy, and you've slowly come around.
I couldn't stand him at first, but the more I've watched like long form content of him and actually
Yeah.
hearing him talk, he's eccentric. He dresses like I'll never understand how he dresses.
It's
I
called
don't get
fashion,
it.
sweetie. Look it up.
Yeah. Coming from old black t-shirt Kadara, so
Hey, what's wrong with the? Hey, when you got a good physique, you don't need to wear fancy
I
clothes.
think
all right?
Cam's got you covered on the
Cam's got a
physique.
pretty good
Oh,
physique.
bullshit. We'll pose off, man.
You don't want to do that to yourself.
Yeah, you're not going to win that one.
George,
I'll
please
pose
don't.
off with Cam Newton. That's fine.
All right.
It'd be hot, real cookies.
This
and cream
is going down the
operation.
Dan Campbell. I'll beat him in a fight path, and you're not going to win.
I'll still stand on that too.
No, that's gold.
The only person Cam Newton's ever talked shit about was Jimmy Carlson.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
Jimmy
fair.
Clausen. He
Yeah.
hated Jimmy Clausen.
When he got
Yep.
there,
He-
he wanted Cam Newton to pay $1 million for number 2,
Oh, yeah.
and he said,
That's right.
"No one will know your name by the end of my career."
Yeah.
And they only know him because Carolina traded him to the Bears, I believe, for
Yeah.
nothing.
He was terrible, Jimmy Clausen.
He was terrible.
He was Notre Dame, I reckon, off the top of my
I
head.
think so. I
Yeah,
think you might be
off the top of
right.
my head. Like I said,
Hey,
I could be
I'll-
very wrong.
I want Scotty to tell me about Tyler Warren.
Oh, can I tell you about Tyler Warren?
Please tell me.
I would love to hear it. Let's go.
I looked up Tyler. My question was, my topic was, is Tyler Warren the unsung guy of this draft? And does Colton Love? What's he?
Colson.
Why do I write? It's autocorrected to Cotton Loveland, which is not good for the algorithm.
No, that's not
We might have to edit that.
No, I did not mean to do that. Colton Loveland, does he compare to him? And I was watching a lot of films on him, got in a bit of a nerd mode, which I don't do often because everyone knows I'm not a college guy. But Tyler Warren, he's not quite the athlete that Brock Bowers is.
No.
But shit.
He's got that dog.
He's George Kittle reincarnated, or like Jeremy Shockey, that sort of
Yeah,
guy. Like
sure.
just dog in him, can do everything.
I think he's a better talent than Kittle.
He's a better all-round talent.
Yeah,
he is.
But
He's
what
so
sets Kittle
athletic.
apart is the dog. Like,
Yes.
I know you're not a big fan of Kittle, but
No,
like,
I like Kittle as a player.
Yeah.
And I've come back around him the last couple of years because he's been pretty humble.
He's a dickhead.
But
No,
he's,
I
just,
like
he's
him.
just a bit of a tool.
He's a good
He's just a
player,
weird
but
guy.
You
He's
can be
fine.
both. Like you can be a tool and be a good player. Like
That's true. But I don't think
Tyreek
he's
Hill?
I don't think he's a bad. He's not like a Tyreek Hill bad.
no.
Like he's
no.
he's a good dude. If he was on my team, I'd like him because he's on my team. The second he wasn't on my team, I'd be like, fuck, I don't have to force conversation with that weird dude
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like
he
he's
just
just
seems
that
like
sort
a
of guy.
weirdo
He's just a
too.
weird dude. Yeah.
I think Tyler Warren is just he's almost perfect in all the measurables, but the
Yes.
dog is the best aspect of it.
Is he a top 10 pick?
I
He
think so for
should
sure.
be.
I think he has to be.
So who takes him?
Can you call me? Like, I know you're going to laugh at this. I would love the Raiders to take him and pair him with Brock Bowers because they're such polar opposite
Yep.
tight ends.
Yep.
It could be a real Gronk and Hernandez sort of
Yep.
thing without the suicide and murders and all that sort of shit.
Fair.
But we don't know. We thought Aaron Hernandez was a stand-up bloke when he got drafted.
Oh, we know about the suicide.
Yeah, we do know about that. But I think he could be. I would love him there. Realistically, it's probably not what's going to happen.
No,
I think the Raiders have got. We'll talk about someone else later. I think the Raiders are going to take for sure. But like, I wouldn't hate if the Jags took him at 5. I think they probably won't because they won't want to. But
they have to get.
if you put
Graham,
him,
Mason Graham.
but if you put him on the Jags, right, it gives you that dog guy they're missing on offense. That tough nut.
Because they
Leader.
drafted that stud receiver last year. Who
Brian
was
Thomas.
Brian, yeah,
Thomas.
he was really good.
But they
yeah.
also let Evan Ingram go and Christian Kirk go, so they need offensive production.
Yes, I think he could be great for him. I think
Yeah.
Warren could be great for them. Like,
I think he's going to be great. For
I
any
don't
team.
think they will at 5, but like I could see a world where
he'd be really good at the Jets with
Maybe-
Fields. With Fields,
Yeah,
He'd be
like-
really good.
but yeah, maybe a Jets take him. I think they're missing a lot more than I think. Yeah, I think they're better
This is-
off going offensive
This is
line.
the issue that he's a luxury pick.
Yes, he's a
And
luxury
lot of
pick
the
in
top
an early
10
pick.
teams need to fill it. They need to fill a need, so they'll draft O line, D line, edge, quarterback, and then the first team that's really smart that goes, oh, hang on, we're not that bad in the lines or at QB. We'll take him. And
So that's like Chicago then.
Chicago, I think Chicago.
If Genty's gone, I think he goes to Chicago.
I think, yeah.
I think they are fucking psychotic if they don't take Genty at 10.
I
He goes to
agree.
Chicago.
I agree.
And we'll talk about Genty soon. Can
He
I
won't be there the
can
way
I
he-
can I
If the
give a bit
Colts
of
get
a
him- if the Colts get him, whew,
Colts would be great? Can I give a bit of a homer pick?
oh, he'd be perfect.
If he landed to 12 and they could pick him up and put him with, because Cowboys love 2 tight ends.
They
there.
lose.
Yeah.
They
Love it. They love running out of it. They love passing out of it. They love play action out of it. They
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
You put him with Ferguson. Ferguson's that tough over the middle guy. He's not a deep threat. Whereas Warren can do that a bit better. It gives you just
He's
that.
probably a tougher guy.
Yeah.
as well.
Just gives you that. Well, it said in fairness to Ferguson, I don't think he's the best blocker in the world, but the endeavor's there. Like he wants
Yes.
to play.
Oh,
He wants
and-
to block.
We're not shitting on
No,
Ferguson.
no,
at all.
I just
We're
think
just
it'd be a
saying that
great
Tyler
move.
Warren is just that elite at all of this.
It would be so fun. It'd be like an athletic
It'd be
Jason
perfect.
Witten.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
they
yeah.
just go back and go, hey, let's just all the players around with Jason Witten. Let's just install them back in, but put Warren in and then give him some more deep shit because this dude can actually run.
My favorite thing with Warren is that you see on some of the highlights that he'll like shift across the formation and almost be a fullback, and then you see him drilling a D lineman or a linebacker's teeth into the back of his skull.
Yeah, that's Witten shit. That's why I used to love watching. Everyone used to be like, "Oh, Witten's not that good." I'm like, watch him run block. They're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
but he's a tight end." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yep.
Watch him run block.
There's-
He one-on-ones defensive ends. Like
There's
it's-
guys that want to do that,
Yeah.
and then there's guys that have to do that, and there's not that many
Yes.
guys that want to do it.
That is such a good line. There's guys that want to, and there's guys that have to.
Yeah, yeah.
Travis Kelce, he doesn't want to.
No.
He has to, and he does it because he has to.
Yeah,
He doesn't want to though. Yeah, I really like that. And then
I'm couldn't be higher on Warren. Like I said before, could be the best player out of the draft.
I
With
think so
Abdul
too.
Carter and Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's like watching some stuff on him today. I
Yep.
think and he wears number 44, which is such a
Just
baller
old
number.
school. Yeah.
And then the other guy,
And he's from Penn State. I mean, come on, man. It's a hard fucking school. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they don't fuck around. Joe Paternio built that into them. Joe Patino, I think it was.
I know where you're going.
I'll stay away from that one. Quickly on Colton Loveland, I had Joshy Fure, who's big college guy. Go and give Coach Josh at Coach Josh a follow on Instagram. He does some really good stuff. He talked about Loveland and saying that he thinks Warren's the better prospect.
Yep.
But he said Loveland is going to be a really, really good tight end.
Yep.
And said
Absolutely.
that he was talked about as like a Jimmy Graham comp, which
Yep.
if you're getting comped with a guy like Jimmy Graham, that's not just you're not just throwing that out there
No.
randomly
Yep.
because he was, at his best an elite football player, Jimmy Graham,
Yeah,
and very
absolutely.
versatile.
He's
Again,
probably top. If you're in the top 10 of your position all time,
I think it's very fair for Jimmy Graham.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's at probably around the 10 mark. He's closer
That's
to
what
the
I'm
10
saying.
than the 1. but
yes.
he's certainly in that. If you said he's a top 10 tight end, there's not many people that'll say you're an idiot. They'd
No.
be like, no, it's a fair conversation.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to sell him on. So Loveland's more that athletic, long, like receiving guy. You'll split him out
He's-
wide sometimes, getting
He
mismatches
can
with him.
block a bit, but like we said, has to do it.
He has to, he doesn't want to.
Doesn't
Whereas
want to.
Warren, you can just see he wants to.
Yeah.
He's got those eyes where he just wants to do it.
Yeah. It's like, can we run the ball again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one from Coach Josh Fuhrer as well.
I saw
He
this.
said 3 quarterbacks taken day one for sure. And I would argue that one of them's obviously Cam Ward. I would say the others, if
Dart.
that does happen, to be Shador and then Dart.
Sure.
I don't
Yeah,
think
it's
I
pretty fair.
don't need to keep shitting on Shador. I don't think a team takes him in the first.
I think he either goes top 10 or teams shit themselves and he falls into the second round.
I don't.
That's what I think. I think Jackson Dart's, I would say he's a lock to go in the first round.
Yes, in the late first.
Yeah, I
yes,
think because
yeah.
his value's not as high, so a team will get him late, like a Pittsburgh, someone like that who needs
I
a
would
quarterback,
say
but not
there's
desperate.
more of a chance of Milrow getting picked in the first than Sanders.
That's crazy. He's not. There's much more of a chance than Shador.
I just think the hype around Shador's too high.
An
People are gonna
an
draft him.
idiot team will take him in the first round.
Okay, let's watch this space.
I would say as well, if the Browns take Shador number 2, which would be fucking diabolical,
They probably will.
then
yeah.
we'll probably get 4 quarterbacks in the first round because teams will shit themselves. And then you get the Saints will come up and go, well, crap,
Start reaching,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll take Dart, and then Pittsburgh go, well, we need a quarterback. We'll take Milrow. There's going to be none left for us.
Yeah.
We don't know if Rodgers is going to sign. We don't know what trip he's on this week. So, yeah, he's literally holding them ransom without even being on
surely
their
he
team.
announces before the draft, right?
I think.
No.
I think Josh's first comment's his best one. Jaden Higgins is an absolute stud.
Well, let's talk some
He's
wide
an
receivers.
absolute stud, and he's been slept on. And I hope Seattle get him in the second round.
Second, yeah. So he said that Higgins is like he's. So I'll get it up because I wrote it down. I want to get
like
it right.
what he stands out in Iowa, and he plays against Ohio, Michigan. He plays against all these teams that are elite defenses and stands out.
Yeah.
He's an absolute stud.
Early second round again. Big target, 6'4". Only one of 3 receivers to get over 1K yards last year, which is actually wild. It just shows why the wide receiver draft isn't as talked about this season. But yeah, you get him in the second round. Again, he's not the most athletic guy, Higgins, but as you said earlier, teams are getting away from that. We need a guy running a 4-3. Like they're getting away from that really quickly, which it's a real character arc of the NFL right now. That
Yeah, because there was a period they were just
Only athletes were getting
speed guys,
drafted.
speed guys. Yeah,
and even at corner too, like they were only drafting elite athletes,
Yeah.
and the tall, slower guys like the Sherman, Tyler Warren, Tyreek Woolen, those sorts of guys were going later because they're not elite athletes. So,
Tyreek Woolen is.
but he wasn't touted as that. He was too big, too slow. That was his thing.
No, he runs like a 4.31.
Is that what he ran at the combine?
I think something like that. It was blazing.
4.3
Like,
is wild.
yeah.
4.3 is insane.
When you're like,
So who was that?
Tyreek Woolen.
Tyreek Woolen.
He's got all the measurables. He's got long arms. He's speedy.
But remember when corners, they didn't want those long corners.
No, they didn't. No.
They didn't want them for
Yeah.
years. They were like, no, they can't. They can only play zone. We want to man guys. Now teams want that tall, long, press corner that can play man and stifle a guy off the line.
Yep.
Because then your man, like the phase of the NFL now is man blitz.
Yep.
You play man coverage tight and you blitz, and then your defense you're gonna get home before they can beat the guys downfield.
Yep.
Because obviously what beats press is longer developing plays. You only hold on for so long with the NFL. So yeah, I do like that. I like Higgins. Let's talk a few more wide receivers.
You had Luther Burden in there. I think he's the best receiver in the draft.
Yeah, so the guys were who did we have? Yeah,
Golden.
Burden's kind of looking him up today and reading a lot about him. He's the all-round guy. He's 5-star athlete going to college, all-round good athlete, good at everything. He's big. He's 6'1", so he's not small.
He's a bit muscly.
Yeah, he's strong.
He's like a Debo. You want the ball in his hands and let him do something with it.
And that's what his one comp was, great in screens and short yardage.
Yeah.
So what do the NFL love doing now? They love getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quickly, getting the ball into receivers' hands that can make plays. I think he's going to be a steal.
When I was doing a lot of the draft stuff, I saw a lot of Philly taking him, and that scares the fucking shit out of me. That scares the shit out of me because they can get rid of Antonio Brown because I think Luther's better.
Antonio Brown, you probably don't have to get rid of him. He's getting rid of himself. Do you mean
Antonio
AJ
Brown. Oh, AJ Brown. Yeah.
Antonio Brown's done. He's ran his race.
Yeah.
I think Joe Rogan was his final thing.
Oh, he was so good on Joe Rogan. It was hilarious.
Yeah. So Tyler Warren's estimated was a 4.6.
We're talking about Tyreek Woolen.
You know, he's bringing up Tyler Warren because we're talking about him.
Oh,
no, who's Tyler Warren?
Tyler Warren's a tight end.
The tight end.
Talking about, yeah. He ran a 4.6.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's got the dog in him.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
No, I was saying that's good for a tight end. For a guy that big, that's very good. The next receiver that everyone's talking about is McMillan. The bottom line with this guy, he's huge. He's 6'5", good athlete for his size. If you looked at just his athleticism, you're not blown away by it. But the fact of how big he is combined with athleticism, he's a Mike Evans, Drake London, that sort of dude, which again is becoming more popular in the NFL.
This is the ASU guy, not the TCU guy.
No, McMillan. This is the
there's two.
Yeah, from Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
The Sun Devils.
Yeah.
I don't know about him. It scares me drafting big guys that aren't elite athletes. Maybe I think caught in the old way a little bit there.
I think if you're drafting a receiver in the first round, they need to tick all the boxes. They need to have really good hands, need to be able to contest and catch, need to run good routes, and you need to have speed.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't run good routes and he doesn't have the speed.
In saying that, he'll still go in the first round.
Yes. This is me being a GM, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think you'll still go in the first round.
And I think he can definitely be good. I think it's just, like you said, he is a Drake London-esque, Mike Evans-esque, which is big shoes to fill. But those kind of guys now is kind of like, hey, just make one move and we'll just throw the ball in the area you should be and you make the rest of it happen.
Yeah. And that's fair.
So, I think, the NFL's changing.
I just think he needs to go to a certain team. He can't end up at a Browns with no quarterback. Like he needs to go to a team that has a decent quarterback that can make the throws he's going to require to be successful. Because we know, like Drake London struggled his first couple of years. He really only came on last year.
I think everyone has struggled when who was it? Riddler?
The Riddler. Yeah, Ritter.
Ratton?
No, that's Spencer Rattler.
Rattler, yeah. The rat's down in the Saints, yeah.
I'm so confused. I'm doing three things at once.
Brock doesn't know.
I'm so confused.
He's doing a lot on that screen up there.
Yeah.
Where's our wide receiver stuff gone? There's more to talk about.
He's just led it.
Golden's the next guy.
Yep.
Reading about him and watching his tape today, I've got two things to say about him. Fucking fast, fucking small. I think he's 5'10" on the combine. So he's probably 5'9" if we're being realistic.
My thing is,
he's an American 5'10".
Yeah, he's an American 5'10".
My thing with Golden is that he only came on when Boyd got hurt. So Boyd got hurt just before the college playoffs or at the time of the college playoffs.
Yep.
And he was sort of not really in the offense a hell of a lot before then.
Yep.
So we're putting a lot of draft capital in a guy that played well for 5 games. In the college playoffs, he's a playoff riser, but I think Boyd's definitely the better player out of the two there.
He also ran a 4.29 at the combine, which
but DBs are running that. Cool.
I agree. But teams going to be attracted to that. It's like Worthy last year. Like if you're, as I said before about quarterbacks, you can't teach fast.
Yep.
You can teach routes. You can teach offensive. You can teach how to separate and do all that sort of stuff. You cannot teach speed.
Yep.
You can teach a guy how to sit in the zone. When you see this, you do this.
Fast
That's
guys don't do that, though.
teachable. No, you're right, but it can be taught.
Yep.
Whereas 4.29, you can't take McMillan, who runs a 4.5, and go, we're going to teach you to run a 4.29.
I guarantee you McMillan's sitting in that zone and being quarterback friendly.
100%. I agree.
Yeah.
Like, I think a team's going to be attracted to this.
Yes.
I don't think he's going to go in there. I think all these receivers are late first round picks. At best, middle.
I think McMillan's definitely, I would almost say a lock for top 12. And
I don't think he gets past the Cowboys, in fairness.
or the Colts.
Yeah,
Or
the Colts.
14.
The Colts could do with him
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
I think they're
Colts,
14.
even the Panthers could do with the
Panthers could definitely
big
do with a
wide
receiver.
I think they're going to, the Panthers have to go defense anyway. But
Yeah.
I think McMillan's definitely the first off the board. The team's reaching really bad for Golden if they go in that
but
mid-first.
if you get him, like if the Chiefs, I don't think the Chiefs would draft him, but if they get him at like late in the first, I think that's a good. I think that's a good sign.
Chiefs will be drafting a tackle for sure.
Wouldn't it be wild though if the Chiefs, if he's in there at pick 25 or whatever, or no, the pick 31,
Yeah.
just like we're
Yeah,
taking
fuck
him.
it, We're taking
We're
him.
taking him.
Yeah.
So you can't. We've got this much speed. You can't cover
If
everyone.
the Chiefs don't draft a tackle, I'll fucking.
It'd be
they got no
wild.
idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
Wild. The last guy is Egbuka. Sorry if I'm murdering his name. I'm just an Australian. Egbuka's kind of, he's the middle ground of all of them. He's not an elite athlete. He's not massive. He can play.
good route runner.
Yeah, he's a good route runner. He does everything at a good level.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I don't think that normally trends to being an elite NFL wide receiver.
He's
Which is
out of
what
all
scares
of these
me about him.
guys,
But he's solid at everything. He can play slot. He can play outside. He can do a lot of different stuff for you.
he's the high floor, low ceiling for the
Yes.
receivers. He's a safety net guy. He's
You kind of know what you're going to get in him when
You know-
you draft him.
it's the perfect example for him is JSN.
I
Without
think that's I think that's unfair to JSN.
no, but without the elites. So JSN's like, elite after the ball, elite route runner,
Yeah.
elite athleticism. He's a tier down for all of that. You get him in the right spot, you get him in the right with the ball, the space. He'll make a guy miss.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
but
think
he lacks that explosiveness,
yeah,
especially at the NFL level. He'll
Yeah.
lack- he lacked it at the college level, which means he's going to lack it at the NFL,
yeah.
which
So-
is always hard.
But I think like one of these guys will be a number one.
Yeah.
But I said at the start of the draft, all these guys are mid-range twos that could be the best two.
You're
I don't-
drafting and hoping a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I was looking at the draft ratings on NFL.com today, and all these receivers are in like, so 8 is elite, can't miss guy.
Yep.
And then like 6.65 to 6.6 is boom or bust.
Yeah.
So they're either going to be really, really good or they're going to just be pretty bad to average for the rest of their career.
Yeah.
All these receivers were in that category, except for Hunter, obviously, but all those receivers were in that category of.
So that's
they-
a bit harsh, I think. I
Oh,
think
but-
Golden's that.
I'm not saying they're going to be a bust. They're just saying, like, you
Yeah.
take him in the first round. You,
Off a first round draft.
yeah,
value,
like,
yes.
you-
I'd say that.
you
Yeah.
reap what you sow. If you take him at 10, you better hope he's going to be that. He develops into that guy.
He's
but
going to be a
but
number
there's-
one.
It's like a 30-70 chance that he's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Like the 70 is that he's probably going to just be an
At a
average
first
player.
round grade.
There's a
Yeah.
30% chance you take him top 10, he ends up being elite, and you look like a legend for taking
Yeah.
him because no one else wanted him.
I think that's pretty fair. I think a lot of these guys are second round talent. Golden's probably a little bit of a separation there because of the speed.
Yep.
I think Luther Burden had a really, really, really good year. Not last year, the year before.
Yep.
And it dropped off a little bit last year, but he's probably him and Golden are the standouts.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting. I think the receivers, it's going to be very interesting what people do with receivers because at some point, a team's going to draft one. And
Yep.
it's probably going to be mid first round. If we look at history and what it tells us, a team in mid first round is going to go, well, we need a receiver. This guy, McMillan's here. He's the best guy. Let's take him now. Let's just get a receiver
Yep.
that we're comfortable with. And then the other team's going to go, well, crap, now the receivers are off the board. It'll go. It'll just, because teams will start shitting themselves.
Yep.
The smart teams will go, okay, now the receivers are off the board. Let's go to these other, the position that hasn't gone yet, which is D tackle, running back, those sorts of things. I'll go, well, let's go away from it now.
Yeah.
But the desperate teams will go, well, shit, we thought McMillan would be there at 26 for us. We're in trouble now. We're going to take the next guy now. Let's move up. Let's do things. And a run will start on them.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
happens.
Yep.
That's why
That happens for any draft position.
That's why mock drafts are almost impossible to get right because you never know when the run's going to start on a position and then teams will get desperate because you have to understand, like, these teams, these GMs, these coaches, it's their job on the line. So when desperation takes over and you're Joe Schoen and you're at 3 and you're like, oh shit, we thought the Browns are going to take Shador. Oh crap, let's just do it. Like we think he's a quarter. Do we think he's good? Yes, we all think he's good. All right, let's just do it. And that's when you lose and keep your job.
I think you lost your job then.
I agree. But like if he ends up being good, Schoen's the
How many
hero.
times can I shit on Shador in a show?
No, it's good. Hey, he's a big topic. Like he's a polarizing figure of the NFL draft.
I think
Polarizing is
he
correct.
He
Like-
wants to be polarized.
Yeah, like there's no shit talk about Cam Ward. Everyone's like he's going number 1. He's talented. He keeps his mouth shut. He does what he does what he does.
Yeah.
Like that's why Shador is polarizing because you don't know what's going to happen with him. It's an absolute wild card.
All right, let's get into another question.
Let's get some running backs because we've talked a
I
lot.
do love the running backs
The
as well.
depth of the running backs in this draft is pretty heavy.
Yep.
I looked at ratings today and I went back and looked at the last couple of years as well. There is, so based off the last 2 years, take away the first guy, which is like Bijan, those sorts of dudes. The guys, the next kind of 9 guys, they would all be rated. This draft would, on average, be rated a shit ton
Yes.
higher than
Yep.
the last 4 or 5 drafts.
Okay, yep.
There's going to be 8 teams that will have a starting quarterback from this draft
Yes.
this year or next year.
Starting running back, you mean?
Sorry, running back.
Running back.
Oh, absolutely not quarterback.
No, but my question is, Genty is the outlier in this
Yep.
draft. He is an absolute outstanding prospect. He ran for 2,600 yards in college football last year.
Yeah.
Almost
With
broke the
every team
record.
Yeah,
trying
Barry,
to
it was
stop
Barry
him.
Sanders' record. I
Yeah,
think.
almost broke it. Was very close. If they'd won a playoff game, he probably would have broken it. It was that close. Now, then the argument would have been he played more. But either way, he was an outstanding prospect, almost untackleable. He sent out a open letter to
Yeah, I
all the
saw
NFL
this.
GMs,
Yeah.
basically saying that just what's the word? Paraphrasing it.
Yeah.
Basically, the context was this is tackle football. People draft the guy that can't get tackled.
Yeah, it's hard to tackle.
That was his actual phrase. It was like draft the guy that can't get tackled. Now put that on a t-shirt.
I just looked it up. He was 28 yards short of Barry Sanders.
There you
record.
go.
So scouts have him as a high as like you can't miss as Saquon Barkley.
Yes, that's what he's compared to Saquon Barkley and Bijan Robinson. Theoretically, and coincidentally, in the last 5 years, only 2 running backs have gone in the top 10, and that's Saquon Barkley and Bijan Robinson. A couple of years before that, it was CMC. I think there was 2
Yep.
that year. I think Alvin Kamara was second round. But
Yep.
there was. It's very in the modern football. So the last 20 years, it is very rare for running backs to go in the top 10. They have to be a significant talent.
Generational.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They have to be that guy that everyone's super confident this is the man. My question is, does Genty get past the Raiders at 6?
Yes.
I don't think the Raiders do it.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
I think they do.
I think they have so many holes. They're not a very good football team.
What about who's their Carroll? He loves running the ball.
I know. Yeah. But he
Will
also
he want a bell cow running back, or do you reckon his philosophy is more like we can just get 2 or 3 running backs and do the same job?
I think, yes, in this draft, he would go, let's get the premier talent at O-line.
Yep.
With pick 6 or 8.
I
or
think they're
whatever
6.
got.
They're 6.
Yeah.
6.
And then you circle back in the 2nd to 3rd, 4th rounds.
At
and
pick
you
6, you're drafting the best offensive lineman, basically.
Yeah.
Is that, and that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Because, like you said before, the 8 other running backs still have a better rating. So you may not get the best one, but you're still getting starting caliber running back in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
And obviously, that being said, because we know ball better than anyone, including the NFL GMs,
Clearly.
the Raiders don't take him. So I want to congratulate
The Bears.
the Chicago Bears
Oh.
on their new running back.
Like I said in my write-up, they have to take him.
It's
They
wild.
just have to.
If they don't take him, I will be so disappointed. And
Yeah.
it won't even be because their defense is solid. They don't actually have a ton of holes. Yeah, they could go another offensive lineman, but they've got 2 tackles they're comfortable in. They signed center and 2 guards.
Yes.
They literally, if they draft a guy, they're drafting him to compete with an incumbent starter
Yeah.
that is either a top 10 pick in right or Jones, who's been really solid as a left tackle.
Yeah.
So you've got to be comfortable that you're like drafting a tackle that's going to be much better.
A top 10 tackle.
Yeah, and I also don't think is McMillan the main tackle. It's not McMillan. That's
The boy
Yeah,
from-
Campbell.
The boy from LSU.
Will Campbell.
LSU, Will Campbell.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be there at 10 for them because I
Yep.
think the Raiders will probably take him. So
No,
I think they are.
the Patriots are going to get him 4.
Maybe.
Or the
Maybe
Patriots
the
are
Pats,
4.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Patriots are mad if they don't take
Yeah.
an offensive lineman. So I think there's probably 2 offensive linemen, 2 tackles off the board already, potentially 3 by the time the Bears draft. Now, if something crazy happens and Campbell drops them at 10, like he puts on a bong mask the day before and someone takes a photo of him and
Laramie
posts it.
Tunsil.
Shout out to our boy Laramie.
Something
and
like that
fourth,
happens, you can't.
You can't miss it.
Yeah.
But I think if Chicago, with what they've got in Caleb Williams, what they've built in the offseason, what they've signed, they are mad. They should do what the Eagles did. Draft him, or like when they signed Saquon, draft him, just cut Swift like
Yeah.
that. Be like,
Yep.
see you, bro, have fun in free agency. I'm sure it'll
And we
take
do
a
know
good
that in Ben Johnson's offense, like having a solid bell cow running back is a good thing.
and who can
like
catch.
catch
Yep.
as well out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Who's lightning fast, who can play zone. Yeah,
Him on,
They
him on,
have
on
to.
those little screens and all that.
I'm
Johnson
a-
loves to run would be sick.
I am a huge fan of Genty, though.
yeah. Genty's good.
To the point where
Judkins is good.
if he fell 12 to the Cowboys and they took him, again,
yeah, you wouldn't.
I don't think it's the smartest pick in the world, but we're like when they took Zeke, it's exciting.
No, you
It'd be
wouldn't hate
fun.
that.
No, I wouldn't hate it
as
at
a
all.
Cowboys fan at all. I wouldn't
Wouldn't
hate
I
that.
think they're more realistically going to go offensive line as well.
Yeah.
But depending on the draft goes, it doesn't matter.
Judkins is good. Like Ollie Gordon is electric. He's just got some off-field issues that I'm sure that.
Can I talk about a couple of guys that our boy Aaron Kempy sent in?
Yep.
Damian Martinez out of Miami.
Yep.
You want a thumper, which I know a lot of teams are now trying to complement these guys. This guy's probably a 3rd or 4th round pick sort of dude. He's the man, huge. I looked up his comp and watched some of his film today. For a guy, he's about 6'1", which again, if you don't realize, 6'1" for a running back is fucking huge.
Giant, yeah.
Like you know when the guys are 6'1" but don't look tall
Yeah,
because of how built they are. That's what he looks
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Yep.
He's surprisingly athletic.
Much like yourself, 6'1", but very built.
Slender.
I think I'd say 6'3" if we're really counting up.
The lat.
You
the
know,
lat-
hey, look. You know what? I'm tall. Shut up, George.
I never said you. I said you are tall.
No, but he's thumper. I think that's a guy that
Yep.
he's a Miami fan. So take his Miami pick.
No,
with a
no,
grain of salt.
he's good.
And then another guy he mentioned was again a bit of a sleeper. Devin Neal out of Kansas.
Yes.
Some of this was based on a couple of years ago. Solid pass catcher, makes dudes miss in the hole, and it was a multiple sport guys are cheat codes.
And Kansas also is, like Penn State's one of those schools that they don't get the 5-star recruits, but they get a lot of guys in the NFL. So they just find these guys and develop them really well. And he is a standout
Yeah,
for Kansas. So we won't like, that's a near miss, a no miss pick.
yeah.
If you get him in the second round, 3rd round, whatever, yep.
And this begs
Stud.
the question though, like,
Stud.
do teams go early on running backs, or knowing the depth, do they wait? Because this is another position that could be late in the 1st round. You know, the Kansas City Chiefs go, well, you know what? Let's take a running back here, and then the 2nd round is just all running backs because teams like, well, let's not miss out. It's a deep running back draft.
Yeah, potentially, absolutely. I think Kansas City definitely have to take one of these guys. I think we're going to see a lot of trades in the late 1st and early 2nd round where there's these really high end guys that aren't quite 1st round talent. Because what the draft guys are saying, there's pretty much only 16 1st round graded talent.
Okay.
And then it's a bit of a shit show after that. So there might be a team that there might be a player the team has really high on their board and they're there at 35, 36, and before you know it, they've got 2 3rd rounders and they're swapping seconds to go up. So running backs could definitely be that.
Yeah, it's one of
position.
those positions that if a run gets going, you
Yep.
could be surprised how many of these guys go
Guards,
early.
another one. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens because there's a lot of good guards that aren't great, like 1st round talent. Defensive tackle and D ends are both those positions as well. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. And our next one I'm going to go to is, and we've talked about this before, but I want to give this guy his flowers. Every team should want Mason Graham.
Yes.
Every single team that is serious about rebuilding their franchise, whether you've got the 1st pick or the 32nd pick, Mason Graham should be a dude that you want to get in your building. I think you said before the Jags would be crazy not to let him go past 5.
Yep.
Because it's pretty realistic he'll be there. I think you've got, obviously, Cam Ward 1. You've got Hunter. Let's just say Shador's not going 2. You've got Hunter
Please.
and Carter 2 and 3,
Yep.
whichever
And
way
then-
they go. And then Patriots will go offensive line.
Sure.
Whichever one. There's 3 guys I think are top 10 talents for offensive tackle. They'll take one of them, and that leaves Mason Graham for the Jaguars. And I think he would be, when you talk about adding toughness to a defense, you pair him with is it Hines Allen?
Hines Allen
Who've
and
got his
Walker.
signed helmet up there,
Yeah.
which is now worth nothing because his name's changed. Thanks a lot, Josh Allen.
Like I said, like I said when we did the Jags, like this dude is like the guy that wears pit vipers and a singlet and shorts out in the snow and just
Yep.
smiles at you.
Baller.
He's just nothing but dog. He's obviously a very good footballer, but he's just a dog.
I looked
And
him up today. He's
And
six.
Trayvon Walker too. Don't forget
Trayvon Walker as well. Who
I
were we
said
talking
Walker.
about before? Did you say Walker?
I said
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Trayvon Walker, who, again, for a guy to go first overall and have, from statistical, a lack of production statistically, the fact that he's not talked about it as a bust because what he does in the run game.
Yes,
I
he's so good.
think he had 10 sacks last year, which is
He's
nothing
a
to
Texas
sneeze at.
A&M guy, isn't he? Traylon Walker.
No, I thought
Rocky?
he was Georgia. Walker.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Actually,
I'm again like that. It'd be wild if I was right, but I think he was Georgia because I remember our boy Foss talking about him a lot when he went number one.
yeah. No, I think you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, Mason Graham, that's a dude, when you talk about high floor, low ceilings, his floor and his ceiling are pretty close together.
Yeah.
He's not going to be an Aaron Donald 20 sack a season interior pass rusher.
No.
But he's going to be a good run stuffer. He's probably going to give you 3 or 4 sacks a year. And he's also not going to be
15
like
pressures or something.
he's not going to be a Dexter Lawrence type either because he's not athletically gifted or that big.
Yep.
But he's 6'3", 140 kilos.
Yep.
Muscly. Like
Yep.
when you look at him, you're like, I thought he'd be fatter, but he's 140 kilos strong.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah. He's farm strong.
he's
Yeah,
like a farm boy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think
He's the kind of guy that like they double him and then he like manhandles both of them. And they're like, oh fuck, this is going to be a long day for us.
Well, we talk about it a lot in as Gridiron Victoria, the guys that are just wild that you don't know what they're going to do. That's what Mason Graham's like. You're like, this guy's not that strong, but shit, what is he doing right now?
Yeah.
I don't know what this guy's going to do. He's just a wild card. Good leader,
Yes.
good team guy, does the right. He's happy to sit there and eat double teams all day. He doesn't give a shit. He'll just make sure he eats them, lets his linebackers eat. National champion, all that sort of stuff. Ticks all the boxes.
Very, very good. Watching the film and him, it just makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah,
It's good fun.
Yep.
He's the NFL Matt Ole, as they say.
Yeah,
Shout out to Swallow.
he is. Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out.
All right, let's rip into a few questions here. So I think
Yeah, we've got a question.
talked shit.
So Regan sent in. When we put our post up today, he's a Marshall fan, and he sent in that.
Good movie. We
I
are.
don't
Marshall.
like We Are Marshall.
I haven't
Sad.
seen it. I haven't
Sad.
seen
It's
it.
too Disney.
It is a bit Disney.
Yeah, but anyway,
Oh.
it's not a bad movie, and it is very sad. Watch We Are Marshall. It's actually a
Yeah.
very sad movie and a true story.
Make a grown man cry.
So he said Mike Green. He's baffled that Mike Green isn't going in the top 10. He's not touted as a top 10. He's probably going to go mid to late first.
Yep.
There's a reason for that. So I did some insight into him today.
I touched on it with
A couple of weeks ago, he's
Yeah.
a bit of a knucklehead.
Yep.
He was at Virginia Tech or Virginia.
Virginia. Yep.
He was accused of sexual assault by 2 different women.
Yep.
They kicked him off the team. He actually never got convicted of it because nothing could be proven. He came out a couple of weeks at the combine and said that it's a lie. It's not true. He stands by it. He didn't do anything. He did nothing wrong. He slept with these women, but he didn't do anything. It was all consensual.
Yep.
Basically, reading between the lines, they're money grabbers just trying to drag him down. That's pretty much what he said.
That's what he was saying.
That's what he was
yeah.
saying.
Okay.
That's what his thoughts were. Now, you can take that with a grain of salt. I would think if you're a really good player and you're removed from a football team, there probably has to be more hard evidence than what you're selling.
Especially Power 5 team like that.
It's also like a narrative thing and a look thing as well.
I agree.
And in the day and age that we are now with the Me Too stuff and all that, like teams need to be seen to be proactive with things like that. They can't just sit on their hands a little bit.
Unless you're the Tigers of the AFL, you need to be proactive about violence, you know? That piece of
Or
shit.
the Browns of the
organisation.
NFL.
No,
I'm going to let that one slide. Fuck you, JA. Tiggs footy, Tigers back.
No, I just think that,
But do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
there's
100%.
no in
And don't get me wrong,
today's
this
world.
is-
There's no wiggle room. Like you got to be seen to be like taking a hard stance. You can't just go, well, it's a he said, she said, so therefore we're just going to keep him. Like you can't do that.
But I would also argue that if he came out with hard evidence and facts and
Yeah.
went, this is what happened, this is how it happened, they'd be like, okay, cool, we'll support you.
Yep.
Probably they've had an interview with, and like I saw an interview with him today. He comes across as a bit of a knucklehead. Like
Yeah, okay.
he's,
Yeah.
he's
There's probably some other
the
stuff.
way
there.
he was talking, I was like, you know, some dudes, like if Mason Green came out and was like, and spoke, you'd be like, yeah, no, this guy's, he's convicting, he speaks, and he's like, I believe him. The way he was saying it, I was like, I don't know, man. You seem very, you don't want to, you don't want to be direct about it. You're flirting with the topic. You're
Right.
flirting with the facts a little bit.
Okay.
Seems like maybe you just did what you had to do to make it go away, and then you went to Marshall.
That's potentially
People
true
got
as
paid.
well.
100%.
You never know.
And
Like,
this was also, it was 2 years ago. He played 2 years at Marshall, And his last year at Marshall, talking on the on-field stuff, 17 sacks,
Yep.
which was the most in the nation.
Yep.
6 all time. Tied guys like Josh Allen Hines, Josh Hines Allen, Elvis Dumerville, those
Yep.
like
Yeah, really good pass
So,
rushers. Yep.
this guy is
Dominated in the Senior Bowl as well. He was the
Killed the
best
Senior
stand.
Bowl.
Yep.
There was speculation that if this shit didn't happen, this stuff didn't happen, he would have got drafted last year, but there was still a fair bit of stink on him last year because he'd only been out of
1 year
Arizona for 1
removed.
year.
Yeah.
So he went back, went to the Senior Bowl. From all reports, did all the right things. I think this guy could be a steal of the draft. I think that a team could get him like 20th, that sort of thing, past 20th even, that first round, and get an absolute stud player. Now, let's just assume that he is a good
I
bloke
don't
and
know
that
if
he
he
drops.
drops past 20. I think he's.
I tend to agree. I think he probably goes in the teens.
yeah.
Like, who's got like Tampa Bay at 19? That's a team that could really do with him. And I just think you could get if this guy didn't have this crap around
Who's
him, he's
drafting
probably
between
top 10.
like who's drafting between like 10 and 15?
Well,
like the Colts.
you got Cowboys, which I don't think Cowboys will. I don't think Colts will because I got Latu last
Yeah.
year.
You got Chicago, 49, Dallas, Miami, Indy, Atlanta, Arizona, Cincy, Seattle.
Miami.
Yeah,
13.
or Bengals.
Bengals will be good. He'd be good at the Bengals
Yeah.
with Hendrickson. He'd
Well,
be very good there.
I think
Hendrickson's
I think-
gone.
I think
Or
you
he's probably gone, so
I
he'll
think
be
you
like his
let Hendrickson
replacement.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think he's take all the off-field shit. I don't like to speculate on stuff like that. He came out, he said it was a lie. He's been squeaky clean for 2 years. Let's take him on his word and say, like, if it happens in a year's time, we'll know. Like, bad people show they're bad people eventually. Like Tyreek Hill.
Sorry, Kill.
If you're just really good at football, it
Just
doesn't matter.
a bad situation all the time. Like, how can
Yeah.
one person have so much bad luck?
I know it's like the world's out to get him all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, but if it's like one-off thing and it was a bit of a he said, she said, and nothing
Exactly.
came of it, there's
Let's-
not enough evidence. Like
It sounds a lot like the punter out of Arizona that went to the
Yeah.
Bills, who had something
the
similar
punt
came out.
god.
Yeah,
Put some
punt god.
respect on his name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something similar came out, and he got cut from Bills,
Bills.
And he's
the
now
next day.
and now playing in
Arizona.
the NFL again because it was all a lie.
Yeah.
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 It was come out. It was all a lie, which is just
This is a topic for another
Yes,
show,
yeah,
another
yeah.
podcast. But there really needs to be a little bit more accountability for these people that falsely accuse people.
couldn't agree more. And you're right. It
Needs
is
to be
a
a
conversation on the one,
High
but
level. That's 'cause
I,
like,
going back to the question,
ruining
why is he
people's
not a
lives.
Yeah.
top 5 player? I think just that the top 10 teams probably need something more. Like a lot of guards, a lot of tackles,
Yeah.
quarterbacks. And he's not the best edge. Like you can have the production. And like we were talking about earlier, like the Texas guys, like they set an edge to stop the run. They might only get 4 sacks in the year.
Mm.
I can't remember his name, Brock. Can you pull up the mock draft there? But like they play the run first, stop you running the ball, and then pressure. And I think you
Jalen Walker? Is that who-
yeah,
out of Georgia?
Walker. Yeah, Walker's good. Yeah, I think he's a Georgia boy, isn't he?
yeah, Walker. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That who you meant.
No, it wasn't Walker. It was the Texas guy. Walker's just a genetic freak. Anyway, but my point's just that he's a bit of a one-trick pony. I
Yeah,
don't
he's,
think-
he's definitely an edge rusher.
Yeah, and I don't think that that teams are going to be going for him.
Yeah, I don't know who the guy you're talking about is. Anyway, yeah, I think he'll be a bit of a steal, Mike Green. And if he keeps buttoned up and does the right things, there's
Texas A&M, sorry.
Shades of Jalen Carter. Bit of a steal. Drop
No, he's not as good as Jalen Carter.
No.
He's not that good. Like Jalen Carter was the
Jalen
best player in the draft.
Jalen Carter freak.
Like he was one of the most dominant.
Yeah, so
players.
Nick Scorton's good.
Oh, Shamar Stewart?
Yeah.
Is that who you mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I just-
he only got like 4.5 sacks last year, but he plays the run like the best run stopper in the team.
I've heard about a lot of teams like him that play that 3-4 because
Yeah.
he can
Hybrid.
he can play base package on the outside because he can stop the run, and then he can go into like that 4-eye as a pass rusher.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So, which is
Different
obviously
needs.
versatile.
Yeah.
Let's get to some questions now. We've got our boy Tristan Duggan Jones, absolute legend. I'm going to read his question
Shout out.
because it's outstanding. He said, "First off, looking big as always, George.
Shout out, big boy. I love you.
Second, as your resident NOLA fan, how do I survive the draft? With a wing and a prayer, my boy. With a wing and a
Yeah.
prayer. Just hope they don't draft Shador. The reports of Sanders being sent to the Big Easy has me itching like a crack addict, and just as paranoid. Such a typical move by Mickey Can Kicker Loomis. Such insignificant moves in free agency in the draft over the last 5 years, all for the low price of a bloody Superdome.
Huh.
We have lost the house. The The car
the
car
car's
That's
broken
fair.
has
down.
broken down,
That's
and
very
we're
good.
sleeping in the gutter. We're in the rat's house now,
Yep.
and should give him the keys to boot. Maybe he scavenges up some spec of life, or at a minimum keeps the team out of the hospital. Thanks for coming to my TED talk. Fuck Loomis and fuck the Falcons. XX. Very good. That was the question of the week. Outstanding.
Very good.
Bits one pack there. Please don't get Sanders.
No, I think they'd be nuts to go. We talked about this last week.
We had the Saints last week.
You're
yeah.
crazy to go with Sanders. They draft the best player at 9, whoever that is.
Yep.
Not a running back, not a receiver, just the best meat and potato DN, D tackle, offensive tackle.
If Warren's there,
Yep,
fuck,
I'd be
yeah.
okay with tight end. Whatever they feel is the best play for them at that position,
Yep.
take it. Don't get too flashy with it. Certainly do not take Shador Sanders. And I
Oh,
don't think
yuck.
Kellen Moore will want him. I don't think
Nah.
Kellen Moore will want.
Callum Moore's been around the NFL for enough now to know.
Yeah, I
He-
think so too.
He knows.
They should be drafting the best D lineman available.
Yep.
And tanking next year to try and get Arch Manning.
I agree.
100%.
Couldn't agree more. That,
Like-
I think that was my plan for
Like,
it. Yep.
like his granddaddy.
Yep.
Like his granddaddy. I thought you were going to hold hands in. That
We
would-
can.
That would have
That's right.
jealousy just took over for a second.
Don't be jealous, Brock. You're all the way over
My
there.
intrusive,
Don't be
no, from
jealous.
me, my intrusive thoughts took over. Don't touch my boy. Get up those other questions you had before.
Yeah, let's
Brock.
get
So we
another
had
there.
some from Jules.
Oh, shout out Julio.
Julio sent him. We caught up with Jules on the weekend. Now
It was-
he had some advice for you.
Here we go.
He said you're the necessary evil of this
yes,
podcast.
that's what he said, word for word.
I think
didn't
that's
it?
very accurate.
Yeah.
And Brock, that's it there. That one
I
there.
think that's
That's
very
it.
accurate from Halls. Hall's a smart guy, and he's further proven it.
All right. What do we got? Who's his bet on fire here?
All right. His first question was, will the Saints take Sanders at 9 with their quarter situation? We just
Yuck.
answered that.
No.
Absolutely no.
Hope not.
Who is most likely to shit the bed in this draft, and why is it the Ravens?
No, the most likely.
George, go fuck yourself. Don't attack me like that. Jules.
George.
Jules.
I said Jules.
Oh, yeah. What are you saying? Fuck me for?
No, you said George.
You said George. It came out
That's a
too
40.
You know what?
That's
Both.
That's a
Came out
40
both.
slip. That's a 40 slip. Now, the team is going to shit the bed the most is going to be the Browns when they draft Shador at 2.
That's
what it's
what
gonna
it
be.
terrifies me. I hope they don't. I really do hope they don't. But
You know
it
they're going
terrifies
to.
me.
You know they're going to.
It's just
It's so Brownsy.
it's as Brownsy as them having Baker, who they've made play injured all year, who had a great rookie year and is struggling second year due to injury, and then just casting him aside for fucking nothing to trade 3 first-round picks for a sex offender that comes in and then sucks.
Yeah.
That is the Cleveland
I think-
Browns on a t-shirt.
I think Atlanta's going to fuck the draft.
Where are Atlanta picking?
I think they're like 15 or somewhere around there, 14.
Yeah, I'd say so. But
I think they're just going to try and go
15.
Yeah. So, fuck. How's my draft?
Shut the fuck up, nerd.
are they going to take? Are they going to shit the bed and take like a wide receiver?
I
or
think
something?
so. I think they're going to try and reach, and they should go defense. They should get my man Jahid Campbell, but they won't. If they do, fucking good on them. But
Yeah. Jules also said, "Who are the Patriots?" Say he's a big Patriots man. You can tell by seeing him, he's that sort of piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's an Australian Patriots fan. Also, if everyone doesn't remember, he used to be on the show. Big Joel Corbett,
yeah.
absolute
Shout
legend.
out. Yep.
Who
They should
are
be
the
taking
Patriots taking, and should they trade out?
Taking a tackle.
I think they should take
Yeah,
Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell.
Or
I
if
think
they
Will
feel a tackle, if they feel another tackle, there's 3 tackles. It's Banks out of Texas,
he's going to go
Campbell,
later.
and one more that are.
Oh,
they-
the guy from
I want to say A&M.
no, it's not. They wear black and red as well. Missouri.
Either way, there's 3 tackles that they
They
think are,
definitely wear yellow and black, but okay.
Calm down, Tiger boy.
Well, you pull them up.
Yes, Missouri. I'm on Membu.
Yes, that's
Missouri.
right.
Yeah, so I think there's 3 tackles that they say are top 10 talent. If they go in the top 10, you'd be comfortable with them.
Yes, yeah.
I think whoever the Patriots feel, I think it's Campbell, but
I
whoever
think
they
Will
feels
Campbell.
the
Yeah.
whoever they feels the best one, I think that's what they do.
Yep.
Like, don't get me wrong, if
And
a
it's
team
also
wants,
like a big need for them too.
Yeah.
They need.
Yes.
but if they're sitting at 4 and a team's dumb enough that wants to trade up for Sanders because they think someone else is going to take him,
Oh, you get that draft capital. They've
Yeah,
got
you
so
take it,
many
for sure.
holes. Yeah.
like you answer the phone.
Yeah.
You might not. Like if the Saints call you and go, you want to come back to 9 because we want Sanders at 4. You're like,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
You
Give
still
us
get a
next
good
year's-
tackle at
And
9
and then
anyway.
you get next year's first draft tackle. Still, that's the dream scenario for them.
Well, then they get who you said before from Missouri.
Membu,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, remember, yeah.
He's good.
So, and then his next question was, is there any good DBs that Scotty likes in the draft?
I
Scotty,
like
you
Stark. Stark's good.
Stark, Scotty, anyone
Yeah.
else you like?
No, just Stark.
Makabu out of Texas. What do you think of him? You think he's all right?
Yeah, he's all right.
So there's no like just guys you really like in the draft that play safety?
None of them really come to mind.
No?
No. I
No.
think Nick Amawari is all right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've heard good things about him. I
Yeah.
can't remember where I've heard it.
Please watch his film.
That's it.
He's a fucking hit.
There it is. Got him. Thank you for that question.
I'm
Sean.
genuinely going to change teams if Seattle doesn't draft him. I hope he's gone before Seattle gets him,
Yeah, that's fair.
because then I don't have to go through the heartache of them getting a tackle or a guard that won't
That
play.
sucks.
Yeah, and then
They
he's
do like drafting
dominating.
O-linemen. They don't play well.
Yeah,
That's for
you
sure.
don't have to fucking tell me.
No, not the time. They're good at drafting offensive linemen that play well when they play.
no. Most of them are terrible, but the two that they do have are hurt.
Yes, true. And then Tommy Arthur, who asked, do any possible top picks have any red flags that a lot of people are overlooking? From my knowledge, the only one was Mike Green, who we talked about before.
The corner
With-
from Michigan, only because he's coming off injury. I don't think a red flag's typically an injury.
So it's not like an off-field red. Well,
yeah.
no, a red flag's injury.
Yeah.
Like we're not females here. Red flags don't have to just be psychological.
That's more of a beige flag.
a beige flag.
If we're females, they can also be non-existent. But anyway, that's a story for another day.
Hey,
There it
they're
is.
astronauts now, okay?
Hey,
Shout out to
don't,
Katy Perry.
Let's wrap this up.
I'm just glad we know what a woman is now.
don't minimize what they've done, Scott. Okay, all right, they're heroes.
With all
All right.
seriousness, the
They're heroes, those women.
astronauts that were stuck up in space for like 8 months, and then seeing Katy Perry kiss
Yeah.
the ground when she got back.
Unbelievable.
Like,
isn't
what
it?
are you doing?
And what was it? Why was she holding that flower
This
the
is
whole time?
this
I
is
don't know.
turning into
This-
package in
this-
the
this-
paper.
There was a message for a daughter.
Oh, that's
Her name's Daisy or something, I think.
that's nice.
It's fucking stupid, is what it is. Anyway,
Wrap it up.
No.
Wrap it up.
Was there any more questions, Brock, or is that everything?
That's all the questions we have.
Okay, so draft is Friday Australian time.
Yes.
I think it starts about 10 a.m. I think it
Yep.
starts.
Cool.
The first round is slow. It's
Yes.
15 minutes between picks. Even like the Titans, they will take 14 minutes and 52 seconds before they draft Cam Ward, knowing what they're going to do.
yeah.
So
Why do teams do that?
They need to get all the ad breaks in for the.
and they also they wait for trades too. Like
Oh,
the
just
Titans,
in case.
the Titans will be sitting there like, all right, Cam Ward's on. We're taking Cam Ward,
Is the ticket?
and then the GM will go call 5 other GMs that were interested in Cam Ward and ask them one more time. So they'll call the Saints and go, "Hey,
You sure?
swap picks.
Yeah.
Your next 2 first rounders, and you got Cam Ward. It's up to you." Like if the Kings ransoms up for him, that's what they'll do. They'll
Sure.
or the good GMs will. The Giants won't answer the phone when they get a phone call. They'll be like, "No, we're taking a running back at 3. Don't even call us. What are you talking about?"
No, the draft's exciting. I think if you're a diehard fan of the team, the draft's exciting. You get to see the highlight reel.
Yeah.
You get to imagine what they're like in your team.
Sure.
It's an exciting time. So
I'm excited for the draft this year because the Cowboys haven't picked. I know 12 is not the earliest pick in the world, but we haven't picked this early for a few years. So it's
Yep.
actually exciting to see that, in that top 15, you theoretically going to get a really good football player.
Cowboys normally draft pretty well too.
That's what I mean. Like the last
be
time
fair.
we've picked around that mark, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick,
Yeah.
Leighton Vander Esch, they've
Pretty
done
good
pretty
guys.
well. So
Pretty good
that
guys.
just builds excitement for me that they're going to get a guy. Because late in the first round, you're basically drafting second rounders with high prospect.
yes. Yeah.
You're drafting the highest
But-
athletic second round grade.
But go watch the highlight reel. Go watch this 5-star stud absolutely destroying fucking lesser competition and imagine on your team. It's fun. It's great.
Yeah,
So-
there's a good chance even the guy that gets drafted at 32, well, not good chance, the guy that gets drafted at 32 was probably the best player at his team by far.
oh, maybe not.
And when you watch the film, he's going to be super dominant.
Yeah,
and
he's
it's going to
probably
make you excited.
Definitely within the top 3 players. of
Yeah,
the team.
100%.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
he's going to be an absolute stud.
Yeah.
So enjoy it. Enjoy the draft. It's excitement for your team. Your team doesn't suck yet.
Yes, that's
so
right.
enjoy
Yeah,
it.
that's
Have
right.
some hope and have some fun with it. We'll be watching it. We're not doing a live. It's just too much to do a live. But
To be honest, it's just too slow between picks.
yeah, it's just too much time to fill. But we'll be watching it. We'll put out a few posts.
We'll do a
There'll
bit of
be
a
memes.
recap.
Don't worry
We'll do
about
a bit of a recap as well.
Someone will fuck up the draft and we will be all over him.
Funny thing was last year it was Atlanta with Penix and it actually ended up saving them, which actually shits me.
Yeah.
It shits me so much that how bad that move was that it's paid off for them. But
They'll
that's it.
fucked either way.
Yes. All right. Thank you, boys. Thanks for being here. Bit of a night change this week, so thanks for being here. Brocky, thanks for your work on the 1s and 2s and
Shout out.
3s.
Welcome.
Once the mic goes off, the 3s will be started. Peace out, everyone. See you next week.
Ciao.
Peace out, everyone.
Peace out.
Thank you.
I hope the Eagles lose on a call.